Hello, my name is Lyosha. I'm from Tallinn, Estonia, and I'm representing here Language Center game. And I'm teaching Estonian as foreign language. And I would like to share you my experience how I do it using board games. So the first game about brain. So in the beginning of learning process, it's nice to have some interesting object in our classroom, and then we just can pass or through the object to our students and ask some questions. And usually my students who are younger, they really glad to touch a brain, and that's why they are motivated to give an answer to the teacher. So brain is one option, and another option to have in the classroom a big dice with dots. How we play this game? It's again a good starter or icebreaker. You just ask your students to throw the dice, and how much dots you will get, that's much you need to name some words. For example, I've got 6, and now I should name 6 words in Estonian or in English. You can also throw this ball, and if I catch it like that, I also can check the number of dots and give so much words to the teacher as shown on the dice. So the next game with balloon, which you can play in your class. Of course, it's not board game, but you are sitting in the circle. It can be big, it can be bigger than you playing with a board game. Some tips how to use balloon for your class. Easy one, you just take a balloon and saying that, well, now please group hit the ball and name, for example, food. And group start to name the food hitting the ball. A sushi, a pizza, potato, chocolate, etc., etc. And if this balloon will fall down, then group will get minus point. Next, another way how you can use balloon, please write down to the balloon words you want to be focused your group, and then they still hitting the ball and try to read the right words from the ball. It can be challenging, but believe me, it's a good energizer and it's a good way how to activate the words which you will bring to the lesson. And now we have quite famous game Jenga with the bricks. Here I have quite big Jenga. It can be made out from the wood as well, and it can contain dice or without dice. So the idea how now we can use this game in our foreign language lesson. Very easily, you write down words on each brick, and if students, if you have a dice, then you can throw the dice. Well, I have blue dot, meaning that I need to take from here a blue brick. So I try to get it from here. Yes, I have got it. And after that, student should read out the words on the brick and translate them. And if he or she cannot do that, he or she needs to take a new one. Now it's a green. Okay, now I should take a green brick from the tower and check if I know all words which are written down on the block. So I believe that it's interactive and fun game to repeat a new words. Next, real board game called Imagine. It's translated on Estonian. It's really interesting and outstanding as a game because it doesn't have cards which printed on the paper. It has transparent cards. So there are a lot of symbols from which you can make a story, a video, TikTok, etc. The easy one, how you can play, there is a card inside the game with birds. For example, a symbol, Big Ben, geography, California, or sport, bike, etc., etc. So inside a box, quite big amount of transparent cards and the symbols and the nouns. And what your student need to do? Student need to check on the card the word which he or she want to explain using those symbols. For example, I try to figure out quite famous movie. So I put here on the table symbol, then another. Try to guess what is it. What is it? Is it a cup? No. Then I would like to put additional card. So it's a couple, and there is a love between them. But still, it can be anyone. Most of the films about love, right? But this is specific one because of a water. And now I think that when I will manage and put this couple on the ship and show that this ship goes down. Every night in my dream I see you. So this is Titanic, right? And you can create movies, you can create stories about movies, and this is very creative game. I strongly recommend it because the amount of transparent cards is quite huge. You can do everything with those cards. Next game, quite famous, it's an Alias. I know that in different countries it has a version called Taboo. So it's Alias for kids, easy one. Each card has a picture and the word. For example, a star or a box. or a bird, etc., etc. So, and regular rules of this game, you divide your students in pairs, and they need to describe the bird they have got on the card without naming the bird they have, because partners should to guess. So, for example, it's mechanical, it looks like a human, but works with electricity. It's a robot. Or it's things that can be used by a photographer. It's main instrument for him. So it's a photo camera, etc., etc. Well, we played a lot of this game. It's really useful, and students can develop their communication skills, and they need to listen each other to guess what word about talking his or her partner. But then maybe I would like to introduce some new games which also can be played with Alias card. So one of them is optimist and pessimist. So I can start my story. For example, in one day, first of all, you need to divide your students in the pairs, and one will be optimized, and another one will be pessimist. And what you do, they will get a card, and optimist start his sentence with the words fortunately, and pessimist starts his sentence with unfortunately. So, today morning, Bob ate potato, and fortunately, it was really tasty. Can say person number one, who is optimist. And then next person will take a random card and say that, for example, yes, but unfortunately Bob was a clone and he can eat only potatoes, for example. And then optimist takes new card. Yes, but fortunately he has an elephant, and this big animal is a big friend, etc., etc. So it's fun way how you can use Alias cards, and it's nice to see how creative can be student taking position of optimism or pessimism, and shift the ideas, the shifting their mind. And the third game, which I would like to present with the Alias card, which can be named Stolen Ananas. So there is an ananas. It can be actually random big thing which you can take in your class. I can use only dice, big dice, or a brain. And first of all, each student gets a card. One card. Then I, as a teacher, leave a classroom, and student need to stole an ananas and hide it. And hide in some way that it should be it should be hidden, but not in the classroom, but it should be taken by one of the students. So student can put it in the bag, she or he can sit on it, etc., etc. So the pineapple should be hidden by certain person. And now, when teacher come back in the classroom, he starts to ask, well, Maria, where have you been today? I'm asking because somebody have stolen my pineapple. And then each student should figure out alibi, what he or she were doing during this day. For example, some of them can say that, well, I fed an animal or my pet, that's why it wasn't me. Or another person can say that, well, I was playing with balloon, it wasn't me, etc., etc., etc. So again, students should be really creative to figure out alibis, and then in the end of the game, teacher try to guess who is holding pineapple or hidden object. And if he is right, he will win. If he is wrong, the group will win as well. What happens if some student cannot figure out the alibi? Well, we agree that if some students have problems with an idea and cannot figure out and blocked, then all group stand up and jump like 3 times. Then I hope that pineapple will drop down and I will find it. That's why actually students motivated to figure out in any way their alibis because they want to win. So this is also quite cool and good role play for students who are advanced and can create a sentence and can be creative figure out their alibis. So, and last game called OK or O and K. It's a story cards game, because in this game we have 100 cards. 80 cards has an picture inside and 20 empty. 20 cards are empty. So how we can play this game and how we create, actually this game created by me and talented artists, and I'm as a foreign language teacher analyzed what kind of words need students for communication on the first stage of learning foreign language. So they need verbs: eating, writing, driving, etc., etc. So some easy words for describing what they are doing. Then objects in the different places, like in what objects you can find in restaurant, in at stadium, in the club, etc., etc. And first of all, I put those verbs, those words in the table, and then we figure out, as I said, 80 cards. Each card has unique location. For example, it's a ship. Here, our couple in the museum, in elevator, in mountains, in the village, etc., etc. So we have like 80 different locations and 80 different situations. In the center of this game, our couple O and K. So your students can give name to them. For example, K will be Kevin and O will be Olga. And then it's already personalized game. And what they can do. In the beginning, your students just can name objects in the from the cards. So I give my students 4 cards for each. Then they met each other and play in a way that, well, I put here my card and my partner should name at least, depending on the level of knowledge, 3 till 6 objects on the picture. Well, we have a sheep, we have a dolphin, a bird, and a fish and the sun. Okay? If partner said those words from my card, I lose my card. I'm sad. But the partner also give me a chance to complete my card set. So now I have 3, I need to 1 back. So he put in front of me his or her cards, and now I should name 4 objects from this card. If I can do it, then I will get 4th card back. And then we will say thank you and fight another person. This is one way how you can play this game on in the beginning, on the elementary level. Then, if your students can tell a story, they can do it. So we are starting with 1 card and start to tell a story. Well, in this day, Kevin were in the barber shop, and Olga make a haircut for him, but he wasn't happy. And after that, they get stuck in elevator, and they were afraid because there is no light inside the elevator. And you can tell a long story about Olga and Kevin life. What it will be today? It will be comedy, it will be tragedy, or it will be something else. It's up to you, and cards will tell the story, helps to run your story. Another game with body language. It's quite easy, as I said. Each card has special location, and I give to my students 1 card to each, and he or she have to show the location with the body language. For example, what is it? Well, it's a forest. And I can say, well, please tell me where is Olga and Kevin. Or they're in barber shop. Okay? And now, where is on this picture, actually, Olga is taking a bath, bathroom, or take a rest on the beach, and Kevin still in the office do his work. And how can show the place like, okay, you are at the office. And last game for today, using those cards, actually I know approximately 50 games which can be played using only those cards. I called it verbal poker. So you can tell a story about O and K couple, young couple who is living in Europe, and they can be set on the cards, then they can have fun with their friends, they can go fishing, they can work, they can do their everyday routine, etc., etc. And now we can add an empty card inside this game. And now when I start to describe the card, I can tell a story. For example, well, here is Olga and Kevin, and they are in the shopping center. And Olga is really happy, but Kevin is lost in the shop. You trust me? But actually it's an empty card. So I cheat you. The idea of this game, how to put listen students each other. And what they are sitting in the center, they're sitting in a circle, and each student takes a card, and he or she start to describe what he or she think on the card. And if it's empty, you need to figure out something. You need to cheat. And I like this game because if you just tell a story, it can be interesting. But if you want to use the same material card in the future, then you need to bring some more, let's say, more attention in your lesson. And this tool, like empty cards, can give you additional attention from your group. And you can also play with the students. You can start, for example, you take a card and start to describe, and group should guess if it's a real story or it's actually a bluff. You are telling a describe real situation, or just cheating to the group. And because they want to guess, they will listen more carefully. And that's what we need actually for effective way of teaching foreign languages.